everybody, this is Becky Liggero for CoinGeek.com. I am here with Luigi of nChain, who is part of the research team. And we are here in London at the Bitcoin Masterclass number 7 with a theme of sovereign nodes and CBDCs and all sorts of juicy topics. But Luigi, first of all, can you start off by explaining to us what it is that you do for nChain on the research team?
So my background is as a mathematician. So when I started at nChain, I was mostly interested in the mathematical part of the blockchain. But actually something you realize quite soon when you work here is that this is just the beginning, and there is so much application that go way beyond that. My very first projects were more on the math side of the blockchain technology, and now I'm moving to more applications. So for instance, a good idea is what can you do with overlay network? And actually this is the topic of this masterclass. And yeah, what product can they provide us that we don't have?
Amazing. So clearly this is why you're here today. And I know that there is so much we can learn from Dr. Wright, but can you explain to me your thoughts on the way that he's holding this masterclass and the way that he is putting the material out there and generating discussion? What do you think?
It's always amazing to attend Craig's masterclass. He is a great speaker, first of all. Like, he managed to engage the audience every time. It's quite after 7 masterclass, it's quite impressive, to be honest. But that's not it. It's also that whenever he speaks, he always touch different topics. I work on overlay network already, and I have my idea, but the depth of what he can bring to the table is so deep that essentially is shocking how many new concepts he is introducing, how many points he's connecting. And after the masterclass, we always feel like, oh wow, I totally missed that part of it.
I love the word shocking. It is a bit shocking, but in a good way, in a really good way.
In a very positive way.
Yeah, and I love that you've been participating quite a bit, Luigi, by I think leading the group that you've had at your table there and sharing the ideas that you guys come up with. I know CBDCs is something we've been talking about and how they can be used more than just for digital money. There's a lot more applications. What are some of the ways that your group discussed that we can be using CBDCs for that go beyond just digital money?
Well, a CBDC in general can be applied to any type of good. And this is actually the first thing that people have to understand when we think about wide adoption of CBDC in our world. And so we are talking not just about digital money, but digital token or any physical good. So this can convert to car register, but that's just the beginning as well, because then we can say, you need already to register your car, but do you need to register your PlayStation or your shoes? Well, actually, that's not a bad idea. This is good for many companies and for you as well. In this way, you get a receipt of if your good is authentic. If it's not a stolen good, that can be annoying. Insurance company will be much happier to insure your goods if you have a digital token on it. And also that's something we discussed with the group is how can you make this process more appealing to the user? Because, it's true that for companies it's good, but then why users should even care? And something we suggest is, people like collectibles because they like that feeling of having something unique. And you can do that for digital goods. You can create a digital asset that is unique to them, and they can show that is unique to them, is linked to that good. So everyone will be happy, and hopefully we'll try to adopt it further.
I love that. So interesting. And I know that micropayments is another thing that we're going to be covering here in the masterclass. Can you just give us an idea of how micropayments may tie into the whole concept of CBDCs?
Well, one of the big problems that we have with a credit card in general is that there are goods that, and here I'm talking about information mostly, that don't really have a price that can be quantized because the value is just so small that you will not be able to pay for it. There is no coin for that. And though that is still some of your data that have a value, especially when they are used over and over. So whenever you see an ad on a website, you are on some money. And maybe it's not much money for that single ad, but how many times you connect to the internet and see tens of ads, hundreds, thousands? And the fact with CBDC is that you don't have the physical limitation of coins anymore. You can try to make it as granular as you want. This is something that we've seen already with Bitcoin. You can pay a few Satoshi, you don't mind, because we are not even talking about 1,000 to a cent. And you can do the same with the CBDC. And now you can start to introduce lots of the concepts that we already have in Bitcoin to the CBDC. And that means, for instance, I can rent a car paying by mile. I can watch a movie paying by second. That is, all of this can be done with your recognized currency of your country.
Wow, very exciting, Luigi. Such an exciting area that we're talking about here today. Thank you so much. Hey everybody, this is Becky for CoinGeek.com, here with Federico of nChain, who is new to the research team, I believe. Yeah, so tell me about how you found your way into nChain and what you'll be doing for the organization.
Right, yeah, I started getting interested in blockchain ecosystem relatively recently, but I find it extremely interesting also for the applications that it has, like, not only financially, but also for empowering people to get into the financial ecosystem and like data recording, all this kind of stuff. So I'm really happy about it and super interested in learning more and super excited to meet everyone. The masterclass has been an incredibly good opportunity to meet everyone else in the team and learning a lot of new stuff about sovereign nodes and how we can implement it. So it's a great opportunity. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, well, we're really happy to see you here. I love fresh faces and bringing some new ideas to the nChain team. That's great. And of course, we have Dr. Wright, who's leading all of the discussions here these past couple of days. Tell me what your impression of Dr. Wright is. I know that people have their opinions, and he's quite a strong personality. What do you think?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I mean, he speaks about a lot of different things, and we're left somehow to make a lot of the connections because he has this overall great view of what was going to be done. So I think it's great to hear him talking and see what he wants us to point us so that we can develop ideas more clearly and faster in some way, right?
Yeah, that's the exact purpose of the masterclass. That's really cool to hear. And I know there's been quite a bit of information shared here at this masterclass, but is there anything in particular that you've learned or that you think is very particularly interesting?
I think it's really interesting, this concept of putting another layer on top of the blockchain, like differentiating between sovereign nodes run by government and the blockchain miners who are going to timestamp all the transactions. I think this idea is really interesting and can empower government to come into the ecosystem and develop new interesting services that they can deploy for people and citizens and to be more transparent, to cut costs and be more efficient. I think it's a very cool idea.
What a cool answer. I think you're going to make a great addition to the research team there. Thank you so much, Federico. Enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin wallet, blockchain, stablecoins, MetaNet, the evolution of money. Everybody is talking about Bitcoin today, but what exactly is it? Learn the basics from experts. Learn what Bitcoin is, how it works, and why it matters. Blockchain 101, your ultimate guide to the fundamentals of blockchain.